You're strong.
This video is about adding and formatting buttons. There are several layout helpers that come with a button part. These are all of the information cards that you see in the left navigation and all of the different calls to action. This over here is an information card that you'll see comes with 2 buttons. You'll notice these are housed within what we call card actions. Now, if we take a look at the card actions, you'll see that it helps us place the buttons where we want them placed. So, for example, we can center them, place them at the end with a space between or a space around. If you only want one of the buttons, you simply select a button and delete the one that you don't want. To add a button within Appeggio, like all other parts, you can simply drag and drop it from the left navigation and it's found under the commonly used parts. Or you can add it via the toolbar by pressing plus and finding button in the list. Now again, in this list it is under the commonly used parts. So let's add a button next to our title text. And you'll see it goes to the end. Now, if we do want to add a button to the bottom of the card, we simply select the card, add plus, add button, and you'll notice that it's gone to the bottom of the card. Now, if I do want my button centered or to be able to be formatted like we did in card actions, then you simply add card actions rather than button, and you will see a button within the card actions. Then you can space your button as you like. The button toolbar has the ability for you to choose the style of the button using the alternative styles icon. That's the alternative styles icon there. When you select alternative styles, you'll see various different button styles you can choose from. Select the style of button you like, then format the button using the button toolbar. If we go back to the button toolbar, you'll notice that you can format the button with some common settings to adjust the weight of the text, the alignment of the text, size and color of the text, as well as the color of the button. You can also hyperlink the button using this icon here if needed. For the full range of formatting options, click on the button drop-down. You'll see a menu of ways to format your button. If you already know what you want to do, you can use the filter function rather than scrolling through the list until you find what you're looking for. The icon can be deleted. If you only want text in the button, simply click on the icon and delete. Alternatively, if you only want an icon in the button, you can select the text and you can delete the text. To change the default icon, select the icon within the button. This will activate the icon toolbar. Then click on the icon image within the toolbar to reveal all of the icons available for you to choose from. There are over 5,000 icons available. The filter function can help you locate your preferred icon. Alternatively, if you don't want an icon, you can simply delete it. If you do want to add an icon back to the button, when you add icon, it will appear after the text. If you want to add an icon before the text, say add shift icon and it will appear before the text. The default button within Appeggio contains an icon, text, and slight elevation with some soft rounding. All of these things can be formatted and edited to your liking. Now we're going to have a look at some formatting options from our button toolbar. For the first button, we're going to have a look at rounding. So we found rounding in the list, and you can see that there's lots of different types of rounding options we can apply. Let's just go through each of them, and you can see what's happening to the button to my right. That's rounding. Let's now have a look at what happens when we apply tile. That may be a little hard to see there, but with this second button, it has removed all of the slight rounding from the edges and made it very rectangular. Now we'll turn this button into a floating action button. In the menu, this is Fab for Floating Action Button. You'll see it's made my button round. For this style of button, it's best to remove the text because you want to show the icon in the middle. So we will select the text and we will delete it. Then you just choose the icon that you'd like. The icon feature of the button may be useful if you want an icon only without the appearance of a button, but retaining the hyperlinking ability of the button. When you select icon from the drop-down menu of the toolbar, the icon and the text will be visible. Delete the text if it is not required. Outlined makes the background transparent and applies a thin border. Text makes the background transparent, leaving you to focus just on the text. And block expands the button to 100% of the available space. Working with this button at the top, let's have a look at some sizing options. If we go to height, we can change the height by keying in a number here. So let's give that a height of 80. And we can do the same for width. So let's key in a width of 300. And you'll see it's changed the height and the width of my button. Having a look at this second button here, we can also play around with some different sizing. And we've got in our list here, we've got large, so we can make the button a little bit larger. We can make the button small. We can make it extra large and extra small. We can apply margins and padding to our button. So margins add space outside of the button, and margins can be applied to all of the button or just horizontally, vertically, top, bottom, right, left. The same can be done with padding. Now padding adds space that is inside of the button. Let me demonstrate this with our button. I'm going to add lots of padding to it so you can see the example. I've added the full amount of padding to this button, so it's added space inside the button, all around the button. The default button comes with a slight elevation, meaning that the button appears to have a small shadow surrounding it. So to change the elevation, you just key in the elevation that you want. So if I want to remove the elevation altogether, I'll press 0. Might be a little hard to see, but there's now no elevation on that button. Let's go back and add lots of elevation. Let's say 20 here. And you'll see that it's added a little bit of shadow around the button, which is the elevation. The depressed function, like so, removes the button box shadow but still maintains the background color. The color of the button itself can be changed, as can the text and the icon inside the button, and you can do all of that via the toolbar. This one here changes the text color. This one, the color of the whole button. And by selecting the icon, you can change the color of the icon. You can also edit the text to whatever you want that to be. And you can format the text using the button toolbar. For example, you can change the weight of that text and the size of the text within the button. If we have a look at text transform, that can change our text into, for example, all uppercase, all lowercase, or we can capitalize, for example. We can hyperlink the button to an external site or to a screen within your app. You do this by clicking on the link icon within the toolbar. So you can see if you want to link to a screen within Appeggio, you just select which screen you would like to link to, or alternatively, you can key in a URL and your button will link to that external URL.
Be strong.